I'm Lamitschka, and today I present you Tommy Tutone. Tommy, many music fans in Europe who may be hearing about you for the first time. How would you describe the music you play to someone who's never seen or heard you before?
I was a big guy in the 80s. I had a big hit in 1982, 867-5309/Jenny, which everyone in America knows now, and they give that number to people who they don't want to know their number. It is now more popular than ever, and so they call me a one-hit wonder. My real fans know me as a guy that tells stories, sings rock, soul, and country. Wasn't just a new wave guy, and has a very twisted point of view, which is very funny, and also tells a serious story and is a good singer.
Can you tell us something about the time where you were active in the music business?
The 80s were my year. I started out in music back in the 70s, playing in country and soul and R&B bands, and when new wave music came along, we kind of got on board that, and we had big hits in the early 80s. And I got out of the business for a while. I was a computer programmer for 12 years, and I'm back in there doing my kind of music, which I think is totally unique, and I don't think there's anyone in the world that sounds like me.
So, please tell us some of the good road stories, I believe, which happens to you.
Well, recently I started acting like a rock and roll star. I used to look like a total computer nerd, and then I get on stage and I turn into this crazed rock star. I remember once I was trying to get into my gig in Detroit Energy Theater, which is a huge place, and I said, "I'm Tommy Tutone," and the guy goes, "Yeah, and I'm Iggy Stooge." What else has happened to me?
So, please tell us something about the latest news. What's going on with you at the moment?
I have just moved to Nashville from California. I'm really into both country and soul music and rockabilly, but I'm known as a pop, 80s guy. So I'm trying to come up with a project here that shows all the world that all the kinds of music I love. And I call the concept Soul Twang. I'm also going to be the VJ on a big show called the Honky Tonk School, which we're going to teach the world how to play honky tonk music.
So, what moments in your career stand out in your memory as highlights and achievements which you are proud of?
Well, I remember the Dick Clark Show. Do you know the Dick Clark Show over there in Europe?
Probably not.
American Bandstand, which is what we grew up on. And he was a little guy who started out in Philadelphia, never aged. He was starting in the 50s. He still looked like the same when I met him in the 80s. And he had one of those shows where you unfortunately have to lip sync on. It was before you could really sing, and I'm on my way to do the show, and I'm one of those guys who sings the song a little different every night. And I go, I can't remember how it goes exactly. And my manager goes, well, here, we'll just turn it on the radio. And it was the first song that he turned on.
So you were now for a long time in the music business. If you had the chance to change something about the music industry, what would it be?
Well, I think my biggest pet peeve is that radio is not helping us sell records. In my day, after a song played, they said that was something that was Tommy Tutone playing 867. And you go, well, that's kind of nice. I'll go buy the record. Now I hear a song. I'm riding around with my kids. I go, that was kind of good. I'd like to get that record, and they don't tell you who it was.
Do you think it was easier to jump into the music business by your days, or what do you think, is it easier today?
I don't know. I had some real luck. In fact, I'm in a book called As Luck Would Have It. It was tough back then. You could get signed to a record deal then, but they made albums, and most of them didn't get promoted, and a lot of people got really screwed and everything. So today, it's probably tougher today because there's no record stores anymore, and no one really knows how to sell records here, and we're not as good as online stuff as they are over there in Europe and stuff.
So when people likes to keep up with you, what they have to do?
Say that again?
What people have to do when they like to keep up with you to get the latest information and so on?
Well, you can come to my website, tutone.com. That's Tutone. And you can see what we're doing. And you check our YouTube and everything. And watch for my new TV show, which should be on the country music stations. I'm not a country singer, but somehow I'm bridging the gaps. You see what's happening here in Nashville is they stole everything they could from old rock and roll, and now they're trying to figure out how to steal from the 80s. So Tutone.com should keep you up to date.
Thanks for the interview.
Thank you, sir.